Blessings, beautiful people. I hope you guys are having a phenomenal day. I hope all is well. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel so that you can be notified of all the great things God is doing in and through me on this channel. So we're going to get right into it. As the title says, story time. Well, before we get into the story, I want to thank you guys. This month, March 2021, would be year 3 of this channel, and I'm just grateful for you guys subscribing, you guys liking, commenting, and sharing. Just thank you for doing all that over the last 3 years. It has been such a blessing to me. I hope some of the messages that I've been sharing over the years has been a blessing to you guys as well. This channel is so special to me because this is the first thing that the Lord has really, well, one of the first things that the Lord has really instructed me to do, and that I was able to do amongst all the fear of jumping on and fear and being able to speak in front of people. And so the Lord showed me that if I believe him, that it could happen. And so it's happening. And so thank you guys for subscribing and just rolling with me, rocking with me for the last 3 years, man. It's been amazing. So we're gonna get right into the story. So I don't know if any of you know, but I'm sure y'all know. So I'm single and I am believing God for a husband. And so I want to kind of share that journey of that and kind of what's been transpiring in the last few days. So about maybe, I want to say about 8 years ago, I moved to San Antonio, Texas. I'm originally from Michigan, Detroit. I graduated college and I moved, graduated college, and along the process, the journey, I moved to Texas. Moved to Texas after a breakup and just wanted a fresh start, to kind of, that was one of the, I didn't move because of the breakup. I moved because I felt the Lord was kind of tugging me to move to Texas. And also, but it was hard to find a job after I graduated college. In 2010, it was really hard, and there was a lot of opportunities here in Texas. So I thought if I come here, I can get the experience I need, then I can go back where I needed to go. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. Well, fortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately, because it was the will of God for my life, and it has been a blessing since I've been here. So the breakup happened. It was a painful breakup, as I know a lot of you know. Breaking up is never fun, although it may be necessary. The experience of it while you're going through it can be painful, but as you move on, you see the purpose of it, and sometimes you see the benefits of why it couldn't work and why it was beneficial for the breakup. So that happened, and so now, and this was about 2012. 2012, I moved to San Antonio. About 2013, I began to kind of grow in my relationship with God. More and more, I began to pray more. I began to seek him more, pray in the spirit, read his word. And one day I got home from work. I'm at home and I'm kind of going back and forth with this guy that I was seeing. And I asked the Lord, I was really confused and I wanted clarity on if he was the one. And what the Lord said to me was, be patient. And I know y'all thinking like, that's all he said. Yeah, that's all he said. But the word that he said, it literally settled me. Like, I'm saying it to y'all and it probably don't mean much, but have you ever had a moment where the Lord spoke a word to you specifically and you try to tell somebody else and they looking at you like, oh, okay. But you in your heart of hearts know you heard the voice of the Lord, that word settled you. That was the words you needed in that moment. Well, the Lord saying to me, be patient, was what I needed. I knew at that point that this wasn't the one and that I needed to be patient. And so as the years went on, this was 2013, so about 8 years ago, that word just sustained me because I knew that I had the peace of God and that this was going to happen. First off, that I was going to get married at some point and that I just needed to be patient. Now, what I love about God is when he tells you something, he doesn't show you the totality of the picture. He just shows you, maybe he'll show you the end result, maybe he'll show you some of it, but he won't show you the whole thing. And so he didn't tell me how long it was going to take or how long I needed to be patient. He just said be patient. I was not expecting 8 years of being patient, but it's the Lord's will. It's his perfect timing. And so fast forward present day, I'm in the kitchen cooking now. I don't know if many of you know, I love to cook. Growing up as a kid, I used to cook all the time, and so I really enjoy it. I had more so lately, I've like got my spark, my joy for cooking back. And so I'm in the kitchen cooking, I'm FaceTiming, talking to my mom, and we just chopping it up, talking about what I'm cooking, and she's just like, "Oh, Rel, you look at you glowing, like you so excited about what you're about to make, this and that." And I'm like, "Yeah." And so then mom goes, "Rel, when you get married, you gonna be cooking for your husband like this?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, but I'm, and I started to explain. Now, mind you, I want to set this clear. My mother, she always gives great advice. We talk about a lot of things, but we laugh and joke about my future spouse and things like that, but we never talk in depth things. This conversation got a little in depth, and so I sat down and we began to talk. And as we're talking about it, my mother says, "Listen, you have been patient, you have been steadfast. This is going to happen. It's coming." And I don't even think she knew what she was saying. I felt like it was under inspiration, because I don't even know who remembered the word that the Lord gave me about being patient. I don't believe my mother did. Sometimes I forget. And so when she said that, it didn't register to me at the time. Literally, when I got off the phone with her, I sat back and I began to think about what she had just said. And it dawned on me she reminded me of what the Lord had said. I forgot in that season when the Lord said, be patient. I felt like, well, me being patient would bring this thing to pass. It would be the prerequisite to bring my future husband into my life. If I'm patient, then God will move. And what the Lord began to talk to me about as I was deciphering what my mother had just said, he began to show me that he's not bringing this thing to pass because I was patient, because I was steadfast, but because he's good, because he's faithful. Understand that God is a king, which means when a king speaks a decree, it must come to pass. When we look at the Bible, when we think about Esther, Queen Esther and her husband, I don't remember his name, but if you read the story of Esther, you'll see when the king made a decree where Queen Vashti disobeyed him and didn't listen. He made a decree of when the king is speaking that whatever the king said at that time, it went into law. It was absolute. And so God's word is the same way. When his written word is absolute, and the spoken word, the rhema, the word that he speaks directly to you, is an absolute word that you can take to the bank, because it's going to happen. Whatever you do, it doesn't matter. God's word is absolute. He cannot lie. And so him telling me to be patient wasn't for me the prerequisite for me to go out and do it and then bring this thing to pass, but it was more so for him that he was going to bring it to pass. The patience was for me to not give up. See, God saw that there would be a time where I didn't want to be patient, that there would be a time where I wanted to give up, or there would be a time where I wanted to say, God, let me help you out here. And there was times where I'm like, okay, let me find this man. Let me make this happen. You know what, God, let me help you out here. You need some help from me, because I got you. I'm going to bring this thing. And so God knew that I would need to be patient through this process, because it's going to be a minute. And so I wanted to come on and share with you guys. I know that God may have spoken a word to you, and you're believing God for it. I want to tell you, don't give up. Don't feel like you're the one that have to bring this thing to pass, or the pressure of bearing the word that God gave to you. It is his job to bring it to pass. The pressure is on him, not us. And so trust in what God has said to you. I wanted to share my story because I believe for me, the promise of a future husband is happening, and it's happening now. And so I can't wait to come back on and share with you guys more about this journey as it begins to unravel and happen, and the promise begins to come to pass. But I also challenge you guys, comment below about the things that you have been believing God for over the past years and you're waiting to come to pass. I would love to engage with you about it. I'd love to hear your stories. I would love to just talk to you guys about it. I think it's dope. Keep believing God. Don't give up. Don't lose heart. Don't think that God has forgotten about you and the promise that he made. Man, for me, it's been 8 years. Like, to me, that's a long time. Like, I told him the other day, Lord, this has been a long walk. But I have to also realize I don't want anything that is not of God, that's not of his will. I don't want to be anywhere or in a situation that he's not in it, because if he's not in it, that's not where I should be, which means there is no provision there, there is no protection, there is no shelter there, there is no support there, there is no Christ there. And if he's not there, that's not where I should be. And so although it may seem like it's taken a long time for God to bring that promise to pass, maybe that promise is a future spouse, a future husband or wife, or a future, maybe a baby you're believing God for, maybe reconciliation of your marriage, maybe a business, maybe the book that you're supposed to write, whatever it may be, God is going to bring it past. Why? Because he spoke it. It's for his glory. And I believe, I remember, and I know I did a video about this maybe a year or two ago, maybe a year ago, that God is putting together kingdom marriage for his glory. He's restoring that. And so I believe that God is not doing this just for us to say that, oh girl, I got a husband, he put a ring on it, but for God's purpose, for his will, for him to do what he envisioned to be done in the earth. And so although you're waiting on that promise, know that promise ain't just for you. It's for you to be a blessing to someone else, for you to use your gifts and your talent with that person or that baby, that testimony, that story, to share with someone that they may believe and hope in Christ. And so I just wanted to come on and share my story. I didn't want to be on too long sharing it, but I'm believing God. I trust that it's going to happen. This is renewing my strength. Man, it's so good to have good people in your life that can speak a word so unexpectedly into your life. And so I hope that you guys don't lose heart, don't give up, but keep hope alive. And I hope this inspires you to not give up. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to the channel. Be blessed. I love you, but most importantly, Jesus Christ loves you. Have a great day, guys. Bye.